Hi Flosstube, I'm Morgan, Honeybee Stitcher here on Flosstube and on Instagram. I'm 26, I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and this is my first Flosstube video. I've been a long time watcher, but I'm a first time poster. I'm really excited to be here and show you, I guess, what I've been working on and my progress over the videos that I'll be posting. I decided to do this after watching so many floss tubes over the years, and when I've been stitching, it's been something really nice to watch. But I think for me, the main reason I wanted to get into it was to be able to see my growth and my progression in my stitching, in my abilities and in my materials and everything. So I was watching Kokohama Stitchery. She posted a video that was a bit of a how-to floss tube, and one thing that she did in that video was pose the question to the watcher of why. What is your why as to why you're wanting to post a floss tube? And so I thought the perfect answer for me is, yeah, I want to watch myself grow. I currently only stitch on 18 count Ada. I've never learnt to use anything else. I do want to go to a store and have a look at the different materials, the different linen and Monaco and even weave, and see what will work for me. I also want to then check out specialty threads like Weeks Dye Works and things, but we're in a pretty harsh lockdown here in Melbourne at the moment where only the essentials is open, and whilst I think needlepoint and sewing is essential, unfortunately our government doesn't, so I'll have to wait a little bit longer on being able to get out to a store to check that all out. But yeah, so for now all my projects are on 18 count Ada. I will be looking to expand that in future. I do have some charts in my stash that are all PDFs that I do have plans to do in future, and some of them I do have plans to do on as my way of learning linen or even weave or whatever sort of fabric I choose, and to try and incorporate different kinds of specialty threads. So I'll touch on those in future videos if and when I get to them, and what I think I'm going to be doing to start them off. Just to, I guess, kind of touch on my story, I started stitching probably officially, I would say, May 2019. I have done a couple of things when I was younger. My sister learned how to cross stitch and then she taught me. So I did a few things from her teaching me. It's nothing against her teaching. I sucked. My finishes are horrendous. I don't have crosses, I have blobs. I'll have to pull those out for you one day in future and show those. But I stumbled across a company, Gecko Rouge, on the internet. They are based in the UK. They commission artists' work and they turn them into full coverage cross-stitch pieces and sell them. So they only sell them as kits. They don't sell them with the DMC or the floss numbers, just because it is a commissioned piece of art and therefore the artists get the royalties, which I really love. I love the fact that these are artists' work, that the artists also get something, not just the company that's doing it, which are a fantastic company. They've been so helpful. I see everything that they do in their groups. Yeah, so I couldn't recommend them higher. But I wasn't ready to delve into buying my kits just yet. I think I was waiting for payday and to make it beneficial and worthwhile to purchase something from them and ship it over to Australia. I was buying a couple of kits just to combine on postage. I think I settled on 2 plus postage, and the conversion rate was all I could really afford at the time. But I already have my eye on a few others once I've gotten through these ones. So when I was in the group one day, they posted a free chart. They've done, I think in my just over a year of being in their groups, they've done 2 free charts. They are just PDFs. They're pretty basic. They're nothing like their full coverage kits, but I thought this was a really good way for me to get back into it before delving into my full coverage. So yeah, it was a PDF. I was able to purchase it and head to our local Spotlight and purchase the colors that I was missing. So this is Skull, Geometric Skull, I think is what it's called. It is, it's been folded, sorry. It is on 18 count Ada. in the Cold 4 DMC colors, which uses 5 DMC colors, and I stitched it using a hoop, which I no longer like. I am very Q-snap stitching orientated, not hoop orientated. I don't like the tension that a hoop gives me, and I don't like the marks that it leaves. I do also use a Q-snap as my guide of what I am stitching, especially with my full coverage, but I'll touch on that. That one took me a very short time to do. I did take that to my in-laws in Sydney. I used that to do on the drive there, to do while we were around in the drive home. I think all up it took me about a week of doing it just in bits and pieces here and there. So I will practice washing and ironing and framing on that one. I do want to frame it just in a simple black or white square frame. We do have a whole bunch of photos in our house that are in these frames, so it ties in with everything else. So yeah, moving on, the next WIP that I started, I'm going to leave my full coverage, which is the next one that I started. I'm going to leave that to the end because I'm the proudest of that one, and I guess to give you something to build up to. So next piece that I am working on is from Etsy. It is from Hipster Stitch Inc. And it is the set of 4 botanicals. I am stitching a monstera in this photo at the moment. It is part of a set of 4. There is a banana leaf and 2 succulents as well. They use all the same DMC colors and everything. I decided to stitch this on black because I thought that it's going to go on a section of my wall, where my TV is and all of my plants, well, most of my plants. So I thought that this would really blend in. It'll also cover a few patches that are on the wall from when we purchased the house, because stitch instead of paint, put stitching up rather than painting the wall, which would not be the easiest solution at all. I am struggling a little bit with this, not because of the black. I'm lucky that I have the world's cutest dog who is very light colored. She likes to sit in my lap. She's not doing it at the moment. I can see her right behind the camera. She's watching, we live on a main road. She's watching the road to bark at anyone and anything that walks past. So she's got a better view, but I do exploit her and her fur to see the back of the hole, to see the holes with it being underlit, and then I use a clip light that goes on my Q-snap, so I can see it. I think for me it's just I feel like the DMC and the thread in this is a little bit linty or fluffy. She doesn't molt. It could be my hair, but I mean it's light colored and the colors of the thread. But yeah, it's just, I'm trying to see if there's an example on here, and I don't think there is. I do try to clean it as I go. Dog barking. Sorry about that. We're back. So next up after my monstera is a whole bunch of smalls that I started. I will thank Julie nicely for giving me this idea. She's on Flosstube as Julie_nicely. I'll link her down below. So she posted that she's doing a bunch of, I think she's doing 3 patterns from someone on Etsy called TerraStitch. And I saw the one that she was doing and I loved that one. But then when she explained the rest of what she's doing, I really loved how she's doing the 3. And I thought, I've got 2 walls in my house that are very close together in this really small hallway. It's got a million doors to it. And there's a lot of gaps between the doorways. So I thought that these would be the perfect pieces to put there between the doors. They are, I'll put a photo of it here. Are all presented in hoops. I don't like hoops. I don't want to stitch it on a hoop, and I don't want to present them in a hoop. Julie is doing them on a square, it looks like canvas, but I'm not 100% sure. And with the fact that nothing is open here for me to be able to go and look at it, I decided to just stitch it on Aida. I've started on one. I've started it on Aida because I do have enough to do the rest of them. And then I'll probably make myself some square frames. I won't make them, my partner will, who's already brought the wood to do it. But yeah, so I'll stitch them on that. So I started with the one that I had colors for in my stash. So I started with the one that's got the moon and then the sun is on top in orange. I had all these colors. It's 4 for each circle, so I'm missing one to fill and round out this section, and then obviously there's an entire other circle, which is where all of this comes in. So that is enough. That is all the colors to stitch all of the pieces. I won't work on more than one at a time because they're so easy and quick to stitch, and I'll use this frame for them, this Q-snap, sorry. And it just makes it easy. I can stitch a couple of stitches here or there during work, if I'm on the phone or if I've got a break. It's just a really easy project to have there. So I really enjoyed stitching this. It took me no time at all, which was really frustrating because I only just got the threads that I ordered, and I ordered them 2 weeks ago. So stitching mail is very slow here at the moment, but I've got something to do for the weekend. Yeah, so that's from TerraStitch on Etsy on 18 count Aida with the code for DMC. I'll put a link to her Etsy store down below. Next WIP, I came across Caterpillar cross stitch. I'm not sure how I came across them, whether it was on Facebook or an Instagram or something, but I stumbled across Caterpillar cross stitch, which is Sally Wilson. She created the company because she couldn't find any really cute baby samplers when she was pregnant with her baby. Sorry about that. And she decided to create her own. So she's kind of evolved it. I think it's been 5-6 years since she started, and I only came across her recently, but last year, 2019, she appears to have done a stitch along for a fall themed tree. Now here in Australia, we don't we don't have fall, we have autumn, and our months are all different to the seasons compared to pretty much everywhere else in the world. So autumn or fall for us is March, April, May. April would have to be my favorite month of the year because of this. I live in an area that borders on the start of the wine country here in Melbourne. So there's a couple of vineyards and wineries around that I get to drive past on my drive to my parents or to go to my favorite walking track with my dog. So it is such a beautiful time of year. In saying that, a lot of the patterns that I see for this time of the year involve a lot of Halloween, and not something that we celebrate here, but also just not the same time of year for us. So as much as I don't celebrate and decorate the house for seasons except for Christmas, I would also feel a bit funny stitching on something that involves things like Halloween and stuff when it doesn't really correlate with me here in the Southern Hemisphere. But I couldn't say no to this. It was so pretty. So this is Hello Pumpkin by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I was on 2 weeks of leave from work while we were renovating, and when we weren't renovating, I started this, and in one day I pretty much did this whole section. My bum and back was so sore, but it was so satisfying and so worth it. I did just receive the final color for what I needed for this, so I'll be able to fill in the mushrooms and a few of these little motifs also call for that red, and then I'll be able to move on to this side. This is the owl, so I'm up to the owl and I've been so excited to stitch him. Here's the reason why I wanted this chart. I thought it was so cute. I am also waiting for a matching needle minder of the owl, but stitching mail here in Melbourne is not my friend. So this is on 18 count Aida, called for DMC as well. I purchased the PDF and then I got all the supplies myself here in Melbourne, and I'm so glad I did, because if I haven't received the needle minders, I wouldn't have received this yet either. I purchased it all at the same time. But yeah, it's just, I just love it. She has released Hello Dear as a stitch along, which is starting on Monday. It's been up for pre-order for the last month or so. Hello Dear is a winter themed tree in the series, and Sally has confirmed that she's doing all 4 seasonal trees. So there is to be a summer and a spring. Not sure if they'll be stitch alongs, and I'm not sure if of their names, but she's made sure that at least this one and Hello Dear are all the same size. I think one has like an extra stitch in either its width or its height stitch count, but yeah, they're all trees, they're all similar formats. It's just seasonal. My only concern with Hello Dear is that obviously in the fact that our seasons are different. Christmas is summer here in Melbourne or here in Australia, and winter is June, July, August. Sally has said that it's not overly a Christmas tree, it is just a winter themed tree. It's got a little bit of Christmassy elements to it, with poinsettia or possibly mistletoe, stuff like that, but it's not Christmassy. There's no snowmen and Christmas hats and Santa and things like that. So I'll see if I stitch all the motifs or if I decide to opt out of a few of them and make them some snowflakes or something, just so it actually fits in a bit more with us here in Australia. Because yeah, Christmas and winter don't go for us here, so it'd just be weird for me if I did that. But yeah, I love to stitch things that I can see in my house. I think that's a big motivator for me in what I like and don't like about charts and kits and patterns. In saying that, I don't have anything finished and up on my walls at the moment, but I'm very, very close. So I love people that stitch samplers and Quakers and things, but that's just not something at the moment that I've got anywhere to put, and I want to be putting things up that I can see and I can enjoy and appreciate all the time. So not my style of stitching just yet. I'm not saying no, I'm not saying never. I have a few that I have stashed. I mean, I got Pandemic by Long Dob when that was up for free. I don't think I'll ever stitch it because it isn't my style, but a free pattern is a free pattern, so whoever says no to that. In saying that, the reason that I picked this full coverage piece that I'm going to show you is because it is a beautiful piece of art. I can see it in my house. I'm in love with it. I couldn't stop staring at it. It is one of their best sellers as well, and I completely understand why. It is the part of the reason for my Instagram and YouTube handle at Honeybee Stitcher. The name and the handle also has a bit more of a personal meaning to me and my fiance. It has to do with him and his name and his family. So I thought it was just all too fitting that we have a honeybee up in our house. If you know me and you know why, you'll understand. It all makes sense. But yeah, so I purchased this kit from Gecko Rouge, and I started this when we moved into our first home that we've purchased together in June 2019. I've been, until more recently, monogamously stitching this one until I branched out into my other WIPS. I do factor that into how I got so far ahead in this, and I'm glad I did it. I do feel a little bit guilty when I start working on my other pieces and I have this full coverage sitting here ready to go, but I've got to stitch all the things. So that's Flosstube's influence on me, that's for sure. But yeah, this is my full coverage piece. It's going to cut me out, but that's okay. It is B by Lorna Lane, which is charted by Gecko Rouge cross stitch. And yeah, I am stitching this on 18 count 8. I'll give you a bit more of a close up. It has quite a few personal touches to it. I have made a number of mistakes, which I don't care about. I have not met the frogging friend in this piece in particular, unless I've done, a black instead of a white or something. I've got a couple extra lines in here from poor counting, I think, or maybe wrong use of color. I'm not sure, but I've left it. It's unique. It's personal. It's my first cross stitch and my first full coverage, and I couldn't be happier with it. I have been stitching this using a Q-snap, but originally I did start, I'll try and show you. I did start the bottom section of the B, so this whole bit here. I did start that on a hoop and eventually, and with paper. Eventually I upgraded to both a Q-snap and pattern keeper. And as I evolutionized the piece, I also can see the difference in my stitching. Oh, sorry. So you might not be able to see. I'll try to hold it well enough. No, you can't. There's two different kinds of I guess tautness in my black stitching. So I mean, the black's got a little bit of gradient to it. It's got a couple of different colors in it that allow it to have the effects that it does. But you can see from here, there's a line pretty much here, and this is one section. This is the very first page I did, and this is what I've done more recently. And my consistency in my stitching, the ability to see the white or not see the white, is so evident in my first page. I hate it so much. So I will probably, before I move on to the next section over here and finish off the piece, I will probably go back over all the black with one thread and just do the top X or something. I read someone did it that way or recommended that way, so hopefully that works, but we'll see. I just think it needs to be a little bit more to make it more defined. So yeah, according to Pattern Keeper, this is at 80%. I just finished doing this whole top section here. We've got all the barking going on today. She just tried to say hello to someone out on the street, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, I think it cut me off before when I was saying that my B is at 80% according to Pattern Keeper. I hope to have that finished as soon as I can. I'm aiming for by the end of the year, but who knows, it might double into the start of next year. But I'm not putting too much pressure on myself to finish it. I want to be able to enjoy it. Hopefully next time you see me, I'll have finished this one, potentially started and maybe even finished another one, but I wouldn't get my hopes up. I will have started Hello Dear Stitch Along, which starts on Monday the 28th of September, so I'll have a new start. Be able to get a bit more in now that I've got my haul, my crazy ridiculous haul. I don't buy too much. I buy only as I need it. I don't have things kitted up or stashed. So yeah, I've just been buying as I've been needing it for my projects, but I'm sure I'll build up a little collection soon enough. I think that's all from me for my first video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, just like everyone says to do. I'd really appreciate all the love and support. Any feedback that you have, anything, just be nice to me, please. If you want to see a bit more from me, I post more regularly on my Instagram, which, like I said at the start, is Honeybee Stitcher. You do also get some cute dog pictures in there as well. I'm not showing you what she looks like today. She is well overdue for a groom, so she'll be in my next video. She'll probably make an appearance because she'll have been groomed next week. So yeah, that's all from me. Thanks for stopping by, hanging out with me. Hopefully you've had some fun stitchy time while you've been watching. Feel free to leave a comment, say hello, follow me on Instagram. I'd love to check you guys out as well. So if you've got an Instagram or a Flosstube that you don't think I've seen, please leave a comment below. And stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.